What's up, guys? Welcome to week number 16 of my 2018 training. For this week here, starting off the max effort upper day with some cambered bar board press. Shoulder was feeling a little bit sketchy going into the day. Was able to get it kind of in position, but these just weren't honestly feeling very good. For some reason, the combination of just the instability of the cambered bar mixed with trying to kind of adjust my touch point because of the boards being there didn't really work out the way I was kind of expecting, and I was just having a really hard time keeping a tight and pain-free position on the way down. So you'll see I ended up missing just 265 or 75 or whatever that was able to get it a little bit better doing a full range of motion just because I wasn't changing my touch point with the bar, but that still didn't really feel that good. So after trying to drop it back down here as I was working back up, didn't feel good again, so I shut that down for the day and moved on to some close grip work with the bamboo bar. For some reason with this bar, I don't have any pain regardless of grip. I did a few different grips on here. Could just be from the lighter weight, could be from the thicker bar. I'm not really sure, but got a couple good sets of 10 in here. I did about 5 sets of 10 with just a really close grip to hit the triceps, and then moved into some close neutral grip push-ups afterwards and just kind of smashed all my accessory work. So not necessarily the greatest day of pressing, but that's okay. I was still able to put some work in on the upper body. Moving on to the the max lower day on Monday. We were on the camber bar again. I got a variation that I stole from Vic down at Forever Strong in Springfield. I'd seen them doing some work on the camber bar to a box, but they front mounted mini bands, so that way the bar is being actively pulled forward. And the combination of that forward tension with having to sit back to the box, but then also fight against the swinging of the camber bar, ended up being really fucking difficult. So ended up taking these up to 405. Camera shut off on the top set, so that one didn't get recorded, but took triples all the way from a quarter up to 405, going kind of plate quarter all the way up. So ended up getting a good number of working sets in. I was able to do these without too much challenge, but 405 was definitely really difficult with how we had this set up. So after that, moved over to the sumo block pulls. Moved these up a little bit higher this week, so I'm pulling off of 4.5-inch blocks rather than the 3-inch blocks or the 4 mats that I was pulling off the week before. With getting my hips a little bit more mobile here, and this is partially from also doing the box squats beforehand. My positioning is definitely better than last week, but my hips are still weak. Still, obviously, they're not going to be better in a week from last week to this one, but I took these up to 455 for a top triple. I did not end up trying to break the bar off the block with my lower back this time, so while the weight didn't go up from the last time that I did this, I was able to do it a whole lot better. So I ended up taking the win with the 455, and I shut it down there and moved on to some accessory work. For that, I kind of created a circuit of a really strict glute ham raise. I'm doing them almost more like a Nordic curl. Maybe I'll record a set just so you kind of understand what I'm talking about. But kept the hips locked the entire time, and with the way I had that set up, that took what would normally be, I think we've done an unbroken set of like 25 to maybe 40 areas. I'm not honestly really tried in a long time to max it out. But takes what would normally be sets of like maybe 20 and turn it into, I think I got 4 sets of 10, and then I only got 7 or 8 on the 5th set. So circuited that together with some pull-throughs on the cable machine, and then like a single leg curl or something like that. But still just kind of focusing on the hips. I'm going to try and keep some kind of glute focused work in on both of the days, so that way I can help speed up the process with the sumo pulls as well. So brings us to the speed day. This day here was really comfortable. Actually, I was having no shoulder pain. Ended up doing a total of 18 sets because I did the first 15 and then wanted to throw on a little bit of extra chain. So some of these are with 80, some are with a little bit more than that. And I was still able to keep it moving about the same speed. So that was pretty encouraging. After the main speed work, I took my burnout set with 155. I kept the same weight as the week before, and this time was able to barely eke out all 50 reps. So I paced myself a lot better on this set. I didn't bang them out quite as quickly in the first half, which actually helped me as I got closer to the 40 rep range, and was able to barely get that last one right before I would have missed the rack. So I was genuinely concerned I wouldn't have been able to get it all the way up to the rack on the last one, but still was able to get that going. I think what I will do next week is, rather than shooting for sets of 50, maybe drop it to like sets of 25, and I'll start working up in basically working up in weight, keeping sets of 25 for that burnout, so I can start getting into some heavier weight on that speed day. Next week I may end up doing kind of a hybrid day between the max effort and the dynamic effort, just because I will be at a meet on Saturday and on Sunday, and we'll be able to get that max effort bench work in. So we'll kind of have to see how I'm feeling going into that week to see what I end up wanting to do as far as variations on that. I'm thinking probably something with the axle bar, since that tends to be pretty comfortable. For this dynamic lower day, still on chains here. Bumped up the bar weight just a little bit, went 160 with 120 pounds of chain. These all moved relatively well. I was having a little bit of a shift, or not necessarily a shift, but kind of dumping on my right shoulder in some of the earlier sets, but trying to cue my upper back a little bit differently ended up helping to clean that up. And as you can see here, how these are moving really well. So especially towards the end of the set, as I had my groove locked in, I felt tight in the bottom position. I felt nice and fast out of the hole as well. So really liking doing these with the pause. For the speed work on the conventional pulls, nothing too exciting there. I did nudge the weight up on that as well. So I did 10 singles with 335 plus 120 pounds of chain. And these all moved about as well as last week, if not maybe even a little bit better. So I think what I will most likely do is add weight again on the following week. That way I've got 3 weeks up, and then that should line me up perfectly for doing some heavier raw work on the max effort day, and then on that week I'll pull this speed day barbell work and just do accessories. So that all went pretty well. I tried a new accessory movement, so I did a staggered stance RDL, and these are way more difficult than I had really anticipated. So I only ended up working up to 205. If you kind of watch closely, you can see on the first rep of each leg I tend to kind of shimmy just a little bit because my hips don't quite know how to fire right, and then after I get that first rep in, everything kind of locks into place and the bar moves a lot better. So I think I will keep some of this staggered work in, either in the form of an RDL or a good morning, but something that kind of lets me start doing some kind of single leg work, even though I'm not necessarily ready to start doing like straight full-on single leg RDLs. So there should be a little bit of a prequel to that. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did like it, subscribe to my channel, and I will talk to you next week.